Hey there, it's Elizabeth, and welcome back to another video. Today it's going to be all about glue, and this is a video response to Michelle. Hello, Michelle, if you are watching. This is for you. Yes, she asked a question if I could show how I put in my pockets and what types of glues I use. So I thought that I would go back through some of my books from the very beginning and show you some examples of things that have worked and have not worked. Hopefully, that's hopefully what I'm gonna do. So let's see. This book here is a big fatty, January and February of 2019. So we'll go through that in a minute. I mean, look at that fat monster, okay? But these are the glues that I'm gonna be discussing today, all right? And I will tell you which ones I use, what I use them for, what types of materials I use them for, and what kinds I won't use, okay? So disclaimer right from the get-go. This is just my opinion. Okay, this is just my opinion on what glues work for me and what glues do not. Okay, that's Aleen's Tacky glue. We have FabriTac. We have glue pens, Elmer's glue stick. This is Tombow mono liquid glue, art glitter glue, double-sided tape, Tombow tape runner. Okay, those are, I think, most of the glues that I've used in the past. There could be other ones. Oh, I'm looking right here at the Scotch ATG gun. So we'll go over that. Oops, sorry, golly, I shook y'all about. Okay, so these are the glues that I have used in the past. Some I like, some I don't, some I plain just don't even use anymore. So we'll go over all that. And what else was I gonna tell you? I don't know. I can't remember. Hopefully it'll come to me. Okay. I've been doing these types of journals this is my 5th Christmas, right? So I guess 5 years. Yeah. I've been doing journaling. Okay. Normally I use a composition notebook. Okay. So let's just we'll kind of scoot those up there. All right. So you can, well, still kind of see them. Well, let's scoot them up a little more. Okay. So this is a book that I did back in November, December 2015, all right? Mostly what I used in this book, it is just a composition book, that's all it is. And how I used to do my journaling is I would go through all of the pages and I would glue, sorry if there's a glare, okay, I would glue 3 pages together, okay? And what that did was make the pages more sturdy, and I could fit 2 months into each book, okay? I'm not going to math the whole thing out for you, but that's how I did it in the past. And I used simply a glue stick, an Elmer's glue stick. Now, back in this year, I used to use the purple, it's nothing special, it's, you know, you can get it at any store. It's the Elmer's washable school glue stick in purple. And that's what I used to glue my pages together, okay? And it made them more thick. None of these, okay, we're talking, this is 5 years old, and, excuse me, none of them have come unglued. None of them, okay? So, A+ for a glue stick, okay? Now, the only thing that I will tell you with a glue stick is that you cannot, you know, be conservative with it. You know, if you're going to use a glue stick, you got to use the glue stick, right? You got to get it all over every inch of the page. Otherwise, you know, there could be some lift in the corners and whatnot. But like all this clip art, so I'm gonna sacrifice my pages here for y'all, okay? All of this is glued on, and I'm trying to, oh, see, there it wasn't glued on as well, right? So we'll just do this right now. Stick it back on there. But that's at the edge, you know, but like the main piece, it has not come up, all right? None of this has come up. All of these are magazine clippings. All of them have stayed glued down, you know, every single one of them, every single one, okay? all glue stick, or these are stickers here, but like all these clip art pieces, these are all, oh, I felt some lift. Yep, okay. See, there's a little bit of lift in the corner, but you know what? It's because I probably, at the time of the original gluing, I didn't glue it down all the way to the corner. You know, it's not because, I don't think it's because over time it's just lifting up. But none of these other ones are lifting. These are all pieces of copy paper. This is a piece of, oh, these are like strips from my Winsor & Newton watercolors way back when. And yeah, none of those have come up. Nothing. I've looked through this entire book. This is thicker paper here. It's like cardstock, okay, glued down with a glue stick. Perfectly fine, okay? So I've been through this whole book and nothing has come undone, all right? Nothing. Nothing is coming undone unless, like I said, it's lifting at the corner only because I didn't glue it down properly at the time, you know? Not because it's gone unglued, like I can come unglued. But none of this has come unglued, all right? So all that is done, and the pages themselves, like I said, the pages themselves, these are three papers, pages of composition, regular composition notebook paper glued together, and they have not come undone at all. They're not even like splitting on the edges, nothing. I hope you can see that. I don't know, I'm just sitting here yammering away. Yeah, nothing has come apart at all, okay? 5 years ago, still intact, all right? So kudos to the glue stick. I happen to use Elmer's brand. All right, now let's fast forward 4 years. No, this year to this year, yeah. Almost 5 years complete, but anyway, this is my January, February 2019, okay? So let's take a gander in here. Now, I always glue my pockets in. Again, I'm sacrificing my book to show you guys. Let's see. This appears to be, and it's not coming undone. I pulled it undone. This appears to be the ATG gun. Sometimes works, sometimes does not, all right? Then I think during this year, 2019, I really started using this FabriTac, okay? And, oh, BTW, none of this is sponsored. But I started using FabriTac. And then as the year went on and progressed, I found things that worked with FabriTac really well and things that did not. So I'll go into that in a second. So all of this is glued with, no, this right here is a magazine, very thin magazine. I glued it on with a glue stick. It is stuck, okay? It's not coming undone. Then I backed it onto a piece of craft paper, and then I glued this craft paper in with FabriTac, okay? And then this is matte paper, okay? So here's what I found with the FabriTac, okay? If you're gluing in things like a magazine, all right? I don't know if I can... This right here is a magazine, but I glued this whole paper. Sorry if there's a glare. I glued this whole thing in with glue stick. It is still stuck. It ain't going anywhere. Okay, I don't know if I can find an example, but I have in the past had problems with the FabriTac sticking to glossy paper, okay? If it is matte on matte paper, it is fabulous, okay? Obviously, it's for fabric, so if you're gluing fabric down, it's going to work famously. Okay, but it says it bonds fabrics, lace, glass, leather, wood, and trims, grabs fast, dries clear, acid-free, washable, okay? But again, it's obviously it's not for gluing paper. It doesn't say on here anything about paper, but for me, it works with matte paper. So if you're gluing matte to matte, or like this, for instance, this right here is a craft envelope, and I glued it on with, probably with FabriTac, okay, around the sides. Yeah, because here's a pocket up here, so I glued it on the 3 sides here, and then it's an envelope, so now I have 2 pockets, right? So I have a top loading pocket and a side pocket. But the envelope itself is probably glued on with FabriTac, okay, because it's matte to matte. So that's just a clue for you. Let me get rid of this book. That's just a clue for you as far as the FabriTac goes. I've not had such great luck gluing things to plastic at all, or gluing things that are plasticky, like a glossy piece of magazine. I wouldn't use that for this, right? Matte to matte is what I say for FabriTac. That almost rhymes. Or of course fabric, because that's what it is made for. Let's see what else here. This right here, let's see. This year also, no, was it this year at the beginning of the year? I'm not sure, but this is probably glued on. See, I sacrificed that little corner for you there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay, this little corner right here, sacrificed it for you because I wanted to peel it up to see what it was. Obviously, it's still sticking. What I probably used for this right here is not FabriTac, but I probably used Aleen's Tacky glue. Now, the Tacky glue works really well. What, in my experience, Tacky glue is thicker than like Elmer school glue. Okay, I don't like using Elmer school glue because it's too watery, and I use a variety of thicknesses and different types of paper. I just find that the more watery the glue is, the more it wrinkles and ripples, and it just, I don't know, I don't like it. Now, I've seen people all over YouTube using only Elmer school glue or just the regular white PVA glue. It's too watery for me, and with the types of papers that I use. But because the Aleen's is a lot thicker, it works better for me, and nothing that I have glued with Aleen's has ever come up in my experience. And I actually buy Aleen's Tacky glue. It's 3 fluid ounces. I get this at the Dollar Tree. So for $1, I mean, it's really economical, especially when compared to FabriTac, which I don't even know how much it is, but it's more expensive. It's a more expensive glue. So, and I've heard different things too about another, it's a Beacon brand. It's not FabriTac. It's called like 3-in-1 or something like that. And I have not had experience with that, so I can't really speak to that, but it is not the same as FabriTac. Okay, that's all I know. But I've heard that it works fairly, similarly. So yeah, Tacky glue is a great glue to use, and this is just regular thin like journal paper from a journal, and it works fine. The Tacky glue. Love the Tacky glue. Okay, let's keep going. This here, let me see what I did here. Okay. I glued this whole thing down, I think. This is probably I use FabriTac on this. Okay, so this is, again, this is matte on matte. It's a napkin back here in the background, and this is a matte envelope. And yep, FabriTac worked famously. It's not going anywhere. Okay, it is not going anywhere. Let's see. This right here is a magazine. Let me see. Let's just take a gander. Let's see what I used. It appears as though I might have used Tacky glue with this. Probably Tacky glue because this is a very shiny surface, so the FabriTac would not have worked. Okay, here's a prime example. Look at this, okay? This was a tuck spot, if you could see it, all right? This is a little card, a tuck spot, right? Look, I started sacrificing it for you guys, and look what happened, okay? Now, there is no residue on the card, okay? Let me bring this up let me get rid of that. Let me bring this up for you. I don't know if you can, let me get out of the shadow. Jeez, Elizabeth. Okay, if you can see that right there, all right? That is tape residue. And I'll tell you what kind of tape residue it was in a second as I'm feeling it. Okay. Yes, it is. I don't know if you can see that shimmer there. There's the tape residue. Guess what that was? The ATG gun. Okay. Now, I will tell you that the ATG gun works, again, it works fairly well on matte paper, copy paper, you know, anything that doesn't have a glossy finish. Now, this card obviously has a glossy finish, does not work well. And it all depends too, because you can get Scotch Brain refills or you can get no name refills, and so that might make a difference. It might make a difference in your climate, you know, who knows. I live in a very tropical, very humid climate. And you might be saying, well, Elizabeth, don't you have AC? I mean, how can it possibly be humid in your house if you've got the AC running all the time? Believe it or not, our house is still very humid, even though we run the air conditioner all year long. So it is very humid in my house. So that could have something to do with it too. But see, so ATG gun, not for long distance, okay? Not when you're working with something glossy. So what I would do with this is actually, I would use the tacky glue, but it comes out super fast and I don't like that. So here's another glue that you can look into, and this is called Art Glitter Adhesive, okay, Art Glitter Glue. And when I heard about it first on Laura's live, one of Laura's lives, I think, or I could have heard about it before, but this is what she uses all the time. And you know, at first I thought, who the heck would want glitter in their glue? Like, what is the purpose of that? You know, like there's that other type of glue that, what's it called? It starts with an S. It's like, oh geez, I can't think of it. Sparkles or something, you know, but it has like glitter in it. I'm like, why would you use that as an adhesive? Anyway, that's their own choice. Doesn't matter. So, but with this Art Glitter Glue, this works super, super duper well. And what I like about it is that it's not as watery as Elmer's school glue, and it's not as tacky as the Aleen's Tacky glue. It does not have glitter in it. It dries clear, and it is, in my opinion, you know, the best glue that I have found to date. Okay, and I showed you earlier all the glues that I've used in the past. This is my most favorite. However, it is expensive. And you can only ship it certain times of the year depending on the climate that you live in, because once it gets below a certain degree, the company won't ship it because it'll freeze or something. I don't know. Anyway, I take it from this bottle, I put it in a smaller bottle, and I use a fine tip applicator, okay? And hopefully this will work. This stuff will glue anything. I mean, in my experience, you know, it works on, oh, am I gluing this the right way? Ooh, let's do this correctly now. Okay. It works, well, normally it works. Come on. Seriously, of course this would happen when I'm doing a video. Of course it would. Okay, I keep a pin in it just to keep it from being unclogged. Go figure, it's clogged. But these pins are stainless steel, okay? So here's another tidbit too. If you're working with Art Glitter Glue and you're putting them in these little bottles, you know, with the applicator, with the fine tip applicator, I'll try to find all the links to everything down below, to like these things that I actually use in order. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna put a link for Elmer school glue. You know, you can get that at the dollar store. But but here's a tip though, right? You want to use a stainless steel, whatever this is called, straight pin, something like that. You find it in the jeweler section. I got mine online, but you want to get a stainless steel one, because anything else, like the normal stick pins that you would use for sewing and whatnot, they will rust within a day. They'll rust. So you want a stainless steel one. Okay, enough about that, Elizabeth. Golly. All right, here we go. Now the fine tip applicator is perfect for what? For making fine lines, right? So you just do like that, and we're gonna stick it right back where it was. Now this should be fine. Whoops, I got a little seepage there and I don't know. Oh, here's my rag. Okay, so there you have it. Now I don't know what was in there now. Oh, my journaling thing. Okay, So there, right? And then, you know, I'll just hardly stick it in there so it doesn't stick to the thing. That brings me to another point. Okay. Now, I had used the ATG, right, on this card. Didn't stick in the long run. This is only a year old. Not even. This book right here is not even a year old, okay? And the card came undone. I used the ATG gun. It did not work over time, not even within a year, okay? Here's the other thing. When you're doing tip-ins like this, you want to use a wet glue. Something like art glitter glue or Aleen's Tacky glue. I've also had some really good luck with the Zig, what is this called? Zig Memory System. It's by Tacky, and it's a very thin ballpoint. Okay, it's a very thin ballpoint. Where is the name? There's the name of it. Oh, Tacky. Now, this I use for other things, mainly like if I'm doing fancy lettering with glitter. These are really great pens to use. You can use them on something like this. These are a little more expensive, though, and of course you'd get, you know, more for your money if you just go with that, the art glitter glue. Or the tacky glue for $1 at, you know, at the Dollar Tree, okay? Let's see what else. Now, oh, let me tell you this, too. This tacky glue, I mean, maybe some people have done it, I don't know, but it's so super thick. This tacky glue will not go into one of these small bottles. It just will not, okay? It's too thick, in my experience. If someone else has done it, fine, great, good for you. Leave a comment below if you've actually put tacky glue into one of these. I've never been able to get it in there. It's too thick, and then I'm not even sure if I did get it in there if it would come out the top. So what was I saying? Oh yes, about the tape runners. Okay, now here's the thing. If you're doing a tip-in like this or any kind of pocket, okay, even if you were doing a pocket like this where you've glued it on 3 sides, do not use. I see it done all the time, and I don't know. Again, this is my experience, okay? This is my experience, and I'm just telling you what I've experienced, okay? But my suggestion to you is do not use a tape runner, whether it is double-sided tape like this right here, like score tape, or the ATG gun, or even something like this, the Tombow dot adhesive. Do not use that because it never dries. It stays tacky forever unless, of course, it dries up and it, you know, and then your stuff will fall off anyway, right? But it does not dry completely, so you'll be all, you know, doing your beautiful page and everything, and you stick your tags in there and your pictures, and you're just so satisfied and so gorgeous. And then you go back like a month later or even like the next week, and you think, oh, I want to look at my page. And then you can't get it out. Because why? It is stuck to the glue in the back of the pocket. So these glues, either the art glitter glue, Elmer school glue, if that's what you prefer to use or that's what you can afford, I'm sure it still works fine. Or the Aleen's Tacky glue for $1 at Dollar Tree, okay, or at the dollar store. If you use this, it dries clear and it dries permanent, you know? So you will never have a problem with your stuff, your tags and your, you know, great pictures and all of your memories stuck to a pocket, okay? Now, check this out. As I was going through this book, this video is going on long enough, but okay, look at that, all right? I had stuck this on. If I keep pulling it, oh, look, I'll pull the entire thing up, okay? Right? And you can see, I think you can, I don't know, without anything falling. Can you see that? See where the lines were? I don't know if you can see the glitter, not glitter, but the sheen of where the lines were. I'll tell you what I used for that. I'm pretty sure, okay, I'm fairly certain. I used this Mono Liquid Glue Aqua, okay? Let me just tell you, hate it, okay? I've seen people use it all the time. I don't know what their books look like. I don't know what their books look like in years from whenever they used it. I do not like this stuff at all. In fact, I'm probably gonna throw it in the garbage as soon as I'm done with this. I would use, now this is, it's not glossy, it's matte, and this is matte. So I will probably go back and use my FabriTac, or just to be on the safe side, I'll go back and use my art glitter glue and run a bead up the side and across the bottom, and that'll fix that problem, okay? So there's that. And so I use a lot of different types of glues depending on the paper, all right? This right here, I probably use FabriTac to put this down because it's glossy. It has a waxy finish on it, so that's probably what I used. I mostly use glue sticks, except Michelle's question was, what glues do I use? And she was asking specifically about pockets and such. I put a lot of pockets into my books. I just happen to like doing it that way because then my space is not limited to just this much to journal on, right? If I put if I put a pocket or a tuck, I can then make as many tags as I want, you know, and have as much journaling as I want, okay? So let's see. This is simply glued on with glue stick, right? I must have not had anything. Oh no, there's a pocket. I should have known. There's a pocket. Okay. There's that. Now these books, again, these are composition books that I glued together, okay? The pages themselves aren't coming apart. I use the glue stick, they're not coming apart. They're fine. It's all the stuff that I put on top of it. And so my suggestion is, if you're using matte on matte, okay? Okay, well, right here's an example. Sorry, I keep seeing examples. Okay, so here is a beautiful Brookie girl, and it is on cardstock. It is photocopied onto cardstock. I folded in the corners, you know, to make it kind of like a little gusseted pocket. But if you'll notice here, this is washi tape, okay? Washi tape has a waxy film on it, generally speaking, okay? Generally speaking, even if it's paper tape, but it still has a waxy finish on it. So you cannot use FabriTac on here. It'll come right off later on. So don't use FabriTac. That's just my opinion. I used probably art glitter glue or Aleen's Tacky glue. I use these two, like, you know, in tandem. You know, these are probably my two most favorite glues when I'm gluing something that is a thicker, you know, like substrate, I guess. Well, it's not really a substrate. If it's a thicker piece of cardstock, I'll use the art glitter glue or the tacky glue. If it is matte on matte, like matte finish on matte finish, paper to paper, I will use the FabriTac, right? If I want to. I could live my whole life without FabriTac, right? If I had these two glues here, right? I do use these when I do, let's see, I use this is all glue stick, by the way. All this is glue stick. All this is glue stick. This is glue stick, glued on with glue stick. This is just a piece of card. Let me see where, this right here is a pocket. It's just scrapbook paper. I probably glued this on. No, I did not. I probably used either the art glitter glue or the FabriTac, or I'm sorry, the art glitter glue or the Aleen's, because over here is duct tape and the FabriTac will not stick to that. What was I going to show you? Somewhere. Oh, right here. This right here is just a little, what's it called? A ruffle, you know? Somebody else made this, maybe? Huh. Maybe I got it in Happy Meal. I can't remember, but I make these too, and it could be mine. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. I use FabriTac on here. Okay? FabriTac on there. So, yeah. I mean, all these things here, because this is matte on matte, I'm pretty sure I use FabriTac. Matte on matte, FabriTac. Okay? If it's glossy, this right here is glossy, I would have used a glue stick. Okay? This right here, FabriTac. Oh, and look, I need to glue it some more. See? It can dry. I only put a little tiny bead. Wow, that's good to know. Yep. So I need to fix that. But yeah, most of the stuff, like these doilies, glue stick. This right here, this little card right here, probably glue stick. If it's a little bit thicker, then I do use a thicker glue. Okay, if it's matte on matte, I use FabriTac. If it's thick paper, or magazine paper, then I use art glitter glue or tacky glue. That's just my thing. You know, like I said, you could probably use Elmer's glue. I see people use a variety of glues. So I guess my only suggestion to you would be to try them out and see what works for you. But I showed you some of my number one go-to is a glue stick, always. Always number one go-to. And this book is some 5 years old. Nothing has come out of it. Nothing has come. Oh, look at that. My dear friend Yukari did that for me. Anyway, these things like this right here, glued in with a glue stick. That's it. Glued in with a glue stick. That's a sticker. Glued in with a glue stick right here. None of it's coming apart, and it's 5 years old. This is a glue stick. Sorry for the glare. This is a tip-in, so yeah, all of this is all glue stick. So, whoops, didn't mean to throw you there, little book. Okay, so my number one glue is just an Elmer's glue stick. That's what I use most of the time for almost every single thing that I do. If I'm gluing something more thick, like cardstock or something like that, I use tacky glue. If I am gluing, again, something thicker, something glossy, something, I can even glue fabric with this. This will glue just about anything. It glues to plastic in my experience, and you can get the fine tip applicator or whatever if you want. And this dries clear, and yeah, it sticks to just about everything. A little bit more pricey, but to me, it's worth it. I mean, if you want to keep these books for any length of time. And then last but not least, what I use these are like, here's the order right here. Glue stick, number 1. Number 2, art glitter glue. Number 3, tacky glue. Number 4, FabriTac. Yeah, for either fabric, of course, or matte to matte paper. No matter the thickness, but it has to be matte to matte. Things that I do not like are these are the two things that I most dislike as far as adhesives go, and that's the Tombow Aqua Mono liquid glue. Way too wet. It crinkles up your paper. I do not like it. Tombow Mono dot adhesive or whatever, they're number 1, they're pricey. Okay, and number 2, within a couple years, your stuff will be falling out of the book. Not only that, you will also end up seeing a shadow. I thought, like, a few years ago, I used to use these all the time, and then I went to my books and saw like let me see here, like if I had used it on like this right here, because this is just like a plain piece of like copy paper thickness, I would be able to see the lines through it. It would actually bleed through the paper itself, and then it would become unstuck anyway. So I don't prefer these. I don't suggest them, but hey, if that's the way that you want to go, then great. But yeah, find out what works for you. So again, in summary, these are my number 1, Elmer's washable school glue stick. Number 2, nope, sorry, wrong order. Number 2, art glitter glue. Number 3, tacky glue, you can get at the Dollar Tree. And the last but not least, FabriTac. Those are the glues that I most use, that I have had the most success with. So, sorry this had taken so long to explain all of that, just a whole 30 minutes of nothing but glue. But Michelle, I really hope I answered your question. And if I didn't, then please let me know in the comments. If anybody else has any questions, write them in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. And yeah, I had a lot of fun going down memory lane back through these books, seeing what worked and what didn't work. So I hope y'all have a great rest of your day and a wonderful week, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.